What's up, everybody? Lance here. Welcome to another B-Sides and Rarities podcast, which is not actual B-Sides and Rarities, but it's the B-Sides of the podcast. It's the stuff that we had to trim because of time or because we just get off on too weird of a tangent that has nothing to do with the Darling Waste podcast. I always clip out the stuff that I think is interesting. We save them up when we got enough, or if we can't record that week or something, I will throw it out. This is our second one. I think it's a lot of fun. We get into everything from crime, New York City, our favorite drummers, Animal Crossing, Harry Potter, being upset about casting announcements, claw machine games, Colin Jost's dad. I don't know the difference between NDAs and DNA. I can't figure out what decade Gilligan's Island was filmed in. I tell a story about how I mustard gas myself. And then we have a long conversation about the Northern Italian dialect, which is what every emo podcast needs. So please sit back, relax, enjoy our B-Sides episode. And hey, if you're on Discord, or even if you're not, you should get a Discord, and you should join our Discord, because we're trying to make a little community where we can all chat with each other about music and movies and nerdy stuff. So if you're into that at all, click the link in the description, follow the links, find our Discord, and jump in and say hi. We'd love to chat with you. And yeah, let's go do that. Join the Discord. Okay, here's the episode. Bye.
Also, we recorded it in your parents' basement.
Yes,
legitimately in a basement.
Yeah, in Brunswick, Ohio. Yeah, a lot of this was recorded in that basement before laptops and stuff too. So we were dragging like an actual fucking computer tower downstairs.
Yeah. I mean, I had just switched from ADATs to Nuendo, and so we brought the Nuendo rig down there and just set up a studio in two cement block rooms with Captain Danger and Emma and or Emma, I should say. I shouldn't misgender the cat now that we know the cat's real gender.
And I just remember we were in that what was my high school band's or my middle school band's practice room that my dad had built. And I remember a lot of like sitting, I think, on the floor or on beanbag chairs. Like we weren't even on full ass chairs a lot.
Yeah, there was one little table with the computer monitor and the mouse and the keyboard and a folding chair and then some beanbags. There was nothing down there.
Yeah, I just remember, I don't know what song, I'm sure once we get to it, but I remember you and I were so picky. You were playing a lead line that was going to be buried on a verse of a song, and we just endlessly were like, we'll move your finger here. We'll move it back up. Well, what if we do this? And then we finally were like, we're going to have to detune your guitar, play just that note, then go back into the riff and I would never do that.
I know exactly, because that one, we did all that work during pre-production and then ended up being there's no way we're recreating this. We just used the pre-production recording of that guitar part for that song. Yeah.
Yeah, because I would never, at this point in my life, I would just be like, play whatever. I don't know.
Play D.
Yeah, it's so crazy that it's, at this point, to be perfectly honest, if I couldn't think of a riff, I would just get out a keyboard and play the D and take it into some kind of oscillator and have it do a random pattern. Yep. And then I would take that, commit it to audio, put some delay and reverb shit on it until it started sounding really cool, run it through again with a little bit of distortion, be like, there's the sound. That's how I create now, way more than, let's figure it out. Which is, this is way cooler. I should do this more. I should try harder, probably. But, their drummer was a rather large person, right? Is that correct?
That's my memory.
Okay. I will tell you, and we can edit this out, but I will tell you, maybe you were there. I don't know. Do you remember the drummer falling off stage?
Not from memory, but I'm pretty sure I ran sound that night.
So basically they did a sound check and we said, which makes sense that we did a sound check since you were there. If I'm there, I'm like, it's live, whatever. So they did a sound check and they all said, good job, and jumped off stage and ran outside.
to get in their van or whatever. And we had no stairs on the stage. And the stage was only, 3 foot or so, maybe
if that.
somewhere in there. Drummer just couldn't get off the stage. Just walked around the edge for a while and looked around. And then when he thought no one was looking, I was kind of peeking, just fell over off the stage onto their stomach and then got back up. Because they knew they had no chance of stepping off that stage without dying. Ooh. So they literally just belly flopped off the stage and then got back up. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen. But, I actually injured myself on that stage. I had to walk. Do you remember I walked on a cane for a little bit in the fall that year? Because I hyperextended my knee jumping off that stage during a show. It just buckled backwards so bad that I thought I broke it. And, I was walking on a cane all winter, all fall and winter that year. June 17th, I have the words Chicago House Party. We did not go to Chicago and play a house party, did we? In any way?
Not to my knowledge.
I think this was Henry James wanted me to go. I don't think I went. I have no knowledge of playing Punchline Bayside, going to Chicago, coming back, then the next day playing Indianapolis with the band. Yeah. So I don't think that happened. And then I also don't think it happened because Henry didn't go on this tour.
Correct.
Right? He was supposed to be the drummer, and then Andy and very last minutes. So, do you have any memory of us practicing for this tour?
Yes, actually.
I don't. Can you tell me about it?
One time, it was in the basement of the place that you and I had lived in, and you and Jeremiah were living in.
What?
Yes, and I know it was
in that.
I know it was that basement because my parents' original kitchen table and chairs from Rochester that I had moved into there and then didn't need when I moved back in with Carol were in the basement of that place because you didn't need them. It was like a white round Formica top, and then they were white tubular metal chairs with like brown pleather seats.
Should we go see if they're still there?
Oh my God, I'm sure they are. My mom to this day tells stories about imagining where all the different pieces of furniture have traveled since we brought them to Cleveland.
Do you remember that we had a coffee table that I don't know if it was you or I purchased for probably nothing at some thrift store, and it was just, do you remember that coffee table? It was like long and it had 4 legs, and I think it had a red top maybe with brown on it or something. Do you remember this thing at all?
So I know there was so I do know that at one point a coffee table of my parents was up. It was wooden table with very chunky legs and rounded outside edges, but I don't think that was this one. I think you must have another one.
I just know that coffee table became a joke because out of everything that I've ever owned, it just kept coming with us everywhere we went. Like me and Bray had it in our apartment in Uniontown, and then it went down to South Carolina with me. Then it came back up, and we started calling it the family heirloom. And it was, I don't know what eventually happened. Probably when I moved to England, I might have given it to someone or something. But yeah, and then when I had the comic book shop, I think it was in the comic book shop for a while too. And it was always the family heirloom of mine.
I love that.
It was just this piece of junk coffee table. Okay.
Yeah, you really need orthotics after that.
Yeah. Well, I have switched. When did I? I don't know when I switched. Probably like 2009, maybe no. I was still wearing combat boots then. 2012, maybe somewhere in there. I switched to Jordans, which have great arch support and are super light, and I've never looked back. And even when I go to the office every day, I wear office clothes with my Jordans.
And even though to this day, I mean, ever since I was 19, I've worn just the Saucony Jazz. I always replace
your shoes.
They're my shoes, but I always replace the insole with a fall
Yeah.
Which
you can do with Chucks. I don't know why I never did it. The most famous one, and maybe we could talk about this guy. No, Justin was not. Was Justin there? I don't think Justin was there. But we played this place called The Rock in North Carolina, and when we got there, it was a Christian youth center. And they got us in a room and asked us if we all believed in Jesus. It was early because Jeremiah was there. Because Jeremiah was like our one Christian. So we're like, Jeremiah? And he's like, absolutely, sir. I believe in Jesus and blah, blah, blah. And then they went to Donnie, and Donnie's like, yes, sir. I do believe. And just lied. And they went to me. I'm like, No, man, I'm not gonna fucking no. I don't. But we're good people, and we're like, a straight edge band and all this shit. And so they ended up letting us play. But I was so demoralized, and so my body was shutting down. I don't even know how to describe. The depression just gets so thick that they had a rocker recliner, and I drug it on stage and sat in it. And leaned the mic stand on my chest, and just like the rest of the band was trying so hard.
Can we make that the photo on the next album?
I just give us
to recreate that.
And then 2 kids were there, and they were so excited to see us, and they had full ICP makeup on, and I wanted to fucking die. And they turned the lights off, and they turned on all these black lights, and there was a neon buff Jesus on the wall in black light. And I'm like, I'm quitting my band as soon as the show is over.
See, that sounds great to me. But
like, yeah, Baton Rouge is cool, which means red stick. Right, that's always my favorite thing. I love going to places where their town has a name, and then saying it on stage. I'm like, "What up, Red Stick?" Like, people enjoy that sometimes. My favorite ever is we used to play in LaPorte, Indiana. And I would say, "What's up, LaPorte, Indiana?" French for the port. And everyone goes, "It means the door." And I would just piss them off every time. Like, I know. Like, it was just like such a fun thing to do. They were very proud of the fact that they're called the door. And I go, "You're the port, right?" So anyway, I have a really bad take on New Orleans. I'm like the only person on the planet who hates New Orleans. I don't. Okay, listen. I love food. Mm-hmm. I love everything from burgers to gourmet food. I've had like 5-course meals that everyone else thinks are stupid that I am enjoying. I'm like, oh, it's playful. Like, I get it. I get cuisine. I'm not like the best, but I get it. I hate French culinary food. Like the thing that's supposed to be the pinnacle of all food.
Thank you.
I can't stand, and then I really can't stand Southern French food. I don't. It's like one of the least favorite things.
I at least like Cajun stuff. So like that.
See, I don't love it.
Oh, okay. But like I agree. French cuisine, not my thing.
I've been in New Orleans eating a po' boy and being like, I'm eating a loaf of bread with some doughy shrimp that's unseasoned, and I'm just not having a good time right now. Yeah, I've had gumbo where I'm just like, yeah, it's sticky and really, really spicy, but not a spice I enjoy. And yeah, man, I just don't. A lot of their pasta has the shellfish still in the shell. So I'm like, how do I do this? Do I just rip into it with my fingers and get all messy, or do I try it with a fork?
Yeah, and I can't do that. If it looks like the animal, I won't eat it. But
yeah. Okay. I want to show you this. So these are back before I don't know, I might even still do it this way. But I made little quarter-page flyers to hand out for the Darling Waste's first album. And so I just shrunk them down and put 4 on a page. So I just want to read you, Darling Waste debut album, Truth About Lies, in store September 03, available on televisionrecords.com. So not that exciting. But on the back, we were hyping Saving Adonis, the girl band. And then I found a couple other things that are kind of neat, I guess. Oh, Justin, you don't know this because the podcast hasn't come out yet. But unfortunately, the lady from the Fantasy died. You remember her? Yeah, she's wonderful. So this was the poster that we hung up all over Cleveland. And she had a gigantic one in the window of the Fantasy. So this was back in the day before. Who owns Kinko's now?
FedEx.
FedEx. So before FedEx owned Kinko's, their copy machines didn't have cards. They would give you. Do you guys remember those little cartridges that you'd put in and it would count it? Mm-hmm. And it would be on this big lanyard thing, so you couldn't get away with it. So I had 2 ways to steal copies from Kinko's. The first one, if you just smack it, take it out and just smack it really hard, you can get it to roll backwards. So I used to do that. And then the one night I just stole the thing. And just left with the copies. So I'd come in and get the key and then put mine in with it on top of it and just stand there and run off like 600 copy stuff in my backpack, flip them, run 30, and I'd be like cutting and pasting and being like, oh, I'm not quite getting it, while just like plowing through copies and be like, here you go, I made 42 copies. So that's where all of these came. I used all of their Black Ink, of course. I didn't like, so why would I do that any other way? So that's part of the ways. We'll have to get into that at some point. A lot of times people are like, how did Darling West get so lucky? Or how did you guys do all this stuff? It's like, we were criminals. There's like, the reason our band got so far ahead is because we did illegal things just constantly. And this is one of them. You know, our budget was zero. So, but then we talked about before, I then one time gave Jeremiah a phone book and said, call every business in this phone book until one of them gives us a copy machine. And he fucking did it, and we got a copy machine. Like, he just called and said, hey,
it's such a perfect
up?
task for him.
It really is, and it worked great, and we went and got it, and it was a lawyer who just had a couple extra copy machines laying around they weren't using anymore, and we said, hey man, we're an indie record label, you know, we'll shout you out on our websites and stuff, and the guy's like, yeah, fuck it, come on down. So we got a gigantic copy machine. So anyway, I've got those. And then the last thing I will show you, we won't get into this week, but I did find a bunch of MySpace numbers for us, by the way. Dude, I was actually underselling how popular we were. In like 2010 or 11, 3.3 million plays on one of our songs. I was like, we had like 1 million plays. It's like, no, you had 3.5 million plays in a year, which is bananas. Can you guys see the screen? Okay.
And was that really pre-monetization?
Yeah.
So all those plays
Nothing.
and just the corporations got the money from the advertising.
100%. Yeah. No, it was just to
Capitalism.
get people to know who we were, you know, is it. Okay.
By the way, Kate feels bad that she forgot to specifically say hello to Justin.
Aw,
Say it up,
I
say
took
it.
it as a hello to everyone.
Hello, Justin.
Hello back.
Not that I don't feel badly, but I realize I should directly say hello to you as well.
That was very nice. No worries at all.
Justin says, fuck you.
Yeah. He said,
He said that was very nice, thank you.
unacceptable.
She says she
Too late.
prefers fuck you.
Too late. Eat shit.
Looks like
Oh, Justin,
Yes.
will you please tell your handball story?
Oh
It's
my
the
God,
most.
all right.
It's my favorite, like quintessential New York story. It's
Yes.
such a New York story.
Oh my God. So my sister and I were playing handball in the park. I think we were in Queens. And this kid comes over. He's like, hey, would you be willing to swap courts with us? I'm like, yeah, why not? So we get to the other side and there's kids already using it. And we turn back around and we've lost our court.
Yeah, and he was like, the sun's in our eyes over here. Can you guys
Yeah.
swap? And Justin's like, oh, of course. And then, was just stealing their court.
Yes.
And it's such a New York story.
It's such a perfect New York setup.
Speaking of us just being felonious, that's another thing, man. We used to have these competitions where it's like, you know, if you go vote for us at this radio station, you can win an iPod loaded with all of our music. And then, you know, just someone in the band would just go to Walmart and take the iPod and load it up and mail it to someone. Like, we did that a lot too, like giveaways of expensive things that we hadn't even gotten yet. We'll figure it out once it's over. And so, Justin, do you have any favorite and then they broke the law stories for Darling Waste?
So
Or any that come to mind?
I felt like I was a balancing force when I came in on that because
For sure.
yeah, like you're like, we're just gonna go pick up some like milk crates for eco boxes. I'm like, that is theft. You should not be doing that. I can't be involved in this. And then of course the big one was we left a hotel and you didn't return their plastic card, and I insisted you turn around and return that card. And you came out and you're like, I returned the card, but I got a fucking apple. That's what I remember from that.
I stole an apple. So every single time that my distortion pedal, the battery started going, I would take smoke alarm battery from hotels, I would just go to the hall and take all the smoke alarm batteries and just re-up our drum set. Every part of the drum set was wrapped in a different hotel blanket for tours because we didn't have cases. I remember me and Andrew used to have to go. We'd be like, well, we got to re-up our merch for this tour. So we would just go into a and just stare at each other and like have a conversation. And he's like, all right, I'll get white, you get black, or I'll get red, you get black. And it was just small, medium, large, extra large, 2X, 2X run.
God.
That's our intent. And then we just, go out in the parking lot and spray paint our logo onto them in their parking lot, which I did find our stencils as well from our shirts. So yeah, that's how we got our merch table. Dude, kids used to freak out when we had the fake Chucks. We used to have Chuck Taylors with our logo on them, and same thing. Those were just shoes that Andrew would just like get a row of, and we just stencil our name on them and sell them for like $20. People are like, how are you selling them for cheaper than they can? I'm like, it's a special deal that we have with the corporation.
Whenever you sell in bulk, you can get those distributor prices.
Absolutely. I remember the one time it was in Lost Creek that we did like $600 in merch, and we were like, or maybe it was $1,000. We did like an insane amount in merch, and we're like, and there was no overhead. Like, this is the best idea ever. Shoes, spray paint your name on them. Ties too. We had so many ties. They're just putting the pink heart logo on and selling for like $5 a pop and stuff. A couple kids had their at least one had their senior picture taken with that with our tie on, so which was real nice. I had a funny conversation. So I don't think you have time. You're probably not listening back to these podcasts as we're doing them. But I've been bleeping some stuff out, and so I did have someone who came to me and said, "Hey, can you bleep my name out when you say that we did illegal things?" I did look up the statute of limitations, and they're fine, but still, I think it's just they don't want their, they've grown up, and I accept that. So legit. I do. Yeah, so if I do say things, I will, editor Lance will come through later and just pop a name out if needed. But they did point out that this person was working at a certain chain candle store, and that we used to go around, this is in the mall, and they used to just take boxes and just accidentally. Oh, also, the last couple times I've been editing this, I do so much handwork in a fucking podcast. I described how we stole t-shirts in the last episode, and I was showing you how we put on one, then the next, but all I said was the sizes. So you have no idea what I'm like. Small, medium, large, extra large, and you have no clue what the fuck I'm talking about because you can't see me pantomiming that we're putting on the shirts. So yeah,
I blame our audience for that.
Yeah, but anyway, this person used to accidentally, in quotes, leave boxes in the back hallways when we were running our store, and we would come pick them up and take them away. And I totally forgot about this, but we used to give, like Michelle at the Fantasy, Kathy at the Grog Shop, just these gift baskets with hundreds of dollars worth of like bath salts and, candles and loofahs, and be like, hey, thanks for just being you, and if you have any open dates, we'll gladly take it. We're just like being like we were like being like a mafia. We're like, oh, it fell off the back of a truck. If maybe you'll help me out someday. It's insane. That's how
you felled it off the back of a truck.
Yeah, 100%.
I love that.
Yeah. And they were also mentioning that we learned really early to white label wine, where we were buying wine and for very cheap and soaking the labels off and putting like just 1034 in our calling card on them and just giving wine out to the people at different venues and stuff. So I was very glad for that conversation because I had forgotten a lot of that stuff. So
Yeah,
that is
some
something
really
we
good
did.
backstory.
Yeah, we did. And we used to just walk in. We would just walk into clubs in the middle of the day when no one was around and be like, yeah, and not ask for anything. Just like, oh, yeah, we're just here to check it out. And what a great stage. We just love this place. Here, have a bunch of gifts. Have some CDs. Yeah, 1034 Records. If you ever need a band for anything, we'll do it. But, no pressure. And, just kind of schmooze them that way a little bit. I'm sure we were probably pretty annoying. We probably weren't as cool as we thought we were. But it got it done. I remember hanging out at the top, in Dan Cole's office at Peabody's, and he used to do everything with a whiteboard. Even when I worked for him years later, he still did everything with a whiteboard calendar. He would just put electric tape and make a giant whiteboard calendars. And it got to the point where when we walked in, when 1034 walked in, he would just say, what band you got? And we go, oh, Goldfinger's coming? Can our ska band play for that? Oh, okay, and we would just plug, and he would print the tickets right there, and we would just leave with 10 shows booked, a bunch of tickets to sell. It was wild. A lot of those bands, people were like, how'd you guys open for those bands? We just stood around and asked everyone until they said yes, basically, right? There was no big secret to a lot of that. So
do you think there are less local openers these days than there were then?
Yeah, 100%. Even when I was leaving, even 2015, 16, 17, there was just, if it was a true national, it was one of two things, right? I'm going to try not to bash any bands. You have a national act that cannot draw a crowd, right? And I don't know if it's still like this, but in the, say the 2000 teens, that band would come play a venue, and I think they would just break it to the venue owner and say, look, we're going to draw 60. We're going to draw 100. We are a name, but we don't draw. And then they would just have a local festival where they'd have two stages, indoor, outdoor. And that's another way Darling Ways played with a lot of bigger bands, is these bands just couldn't draw. They couldn't pack a house. So we would put on, and a lot of times I got called to and asked if I wanted to promote it. And they'd say, X band wants to play Peabody's. They want $1,000. They've been pretty upfront that they're not going to make that $1,000 back, but they needed to continue touring. Do you want to do something? They're like, yeah, let's have a 1034 festival. Can I have it all day? Can I have it on 3 stages? And then we just talk to 30 bands and say, would you like to open for fill in the blank band? Everyone tried to sell 30 tickets and pack the place out. And we did a lot of that kind of stuff back in the day as well. But yeah, to answer your question, a lot more bands are not accepting local openers. So
I can't say the last time I've been to a show that had a local opener, even with bands that I was they're mid-sized bands, but there's not that little third band playing at the very beginning. Off on the side of the stage, so that everybody else's stuff is already set up. There's just none of that.
We did that. I mean, that's how we did everything, right? Yeah. Just so everyone knows.
Here are your 3 mics opener. Figure out how to get a sound out.
And also, we were the kind of opener that when we say, we opened for Yellow Card, or we opened for, these bands, Panther Disco, on these, massive stages. Yeah, so you're correct. There was 3 touring bands. All of their stuff is set up, right? It was Fall Out Boy, Panther Disco, and Blink-182. So Blink-182 stuff on a giant riser with their banner, everything. Then, Panther Disco sets their stuff up in front of that on a lesser riser. They drape all their stuff. Then the third band, who's still very famous, sets up on the stage with no riser, drapes their stuff. Then the local opener sets up, and then Darling Way sets up in the corner. Yep. There was literally, there's been more than one time where we played an amphitheater stage where we weren't allowed to stand in the center of the stage. They just made a side stage area off to the side and said, set up over there and play, please.
I remember those, and I just don't get the sense that same thing exists.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, I don't. I really don't think so. I don't pretend to know what goes on anymore in that, but a lot of times those bands that are opening for the major bands are just paying a fortune. They're just dumping. They're going to lose a ton of money on that tour in the hopes of just hitting it big touring. Yeah. Again, I don't want to name anybody, but I had friends who were relentless touring machines, and they just paid. I mean, they just maxed out credit cards to open for every national act.
It's pay to play.
100%. And then even when it wasn't, a lot of bands that we toured with, and we've done this to other bands too, so it's not like we're not guilty of it. To avoid pay to play, we would say, okay, you can open for us. We'll book all the shows. We'll do everything. You provide the van, the gear, the trailer, and that's what you got, or whatever it was we needed, I know there's a band out of England that we toured with a bunch. They opened for a big national, and the national said, hey, you can come. The shows are already booked. Everything's good. You get no money. You rent the bus. You can sleep on the bus with us. We get the bunks. You can have the floor. You can have the couches, but we can't afford the bus. If you'll rent the bus, and I think they had to pay the gas too.
Oh, geez.
The bus and the gas, you can play our instruments. You can fly over here, play our instruments, be the band right before us on the whole national tour. And I mean, they got pretty big doing that, but that's, what they had to pay to do it. So I hate a closed hi-hat. I hate a closed hi-hat. I kind of get it now for hip hop and stuff, but I think why would you go unless a song really needs that regimentedness when you can go ding ding and keep that flow sound going, I
will say I saw a really, really great explanation where younger drummers or more novice drummers will over clamp their hi-hat while they're playing it, and it creates a very short, bright sound. And all the best drummers say, no, you just got to relax it just enough so that it's still a closed hi-hat sound.
It sizzles a little bit though, right?
But it needs a little bit of interest to it. And I've really thought about that as I've started learning to play drums, like, there is so much nuance potential there that I think younger drummers don't do. And obviously I'm a very novice drummer, but like that really stuck with me, and I'm glad I heard that early on because it's made me conscious of that. I agree. I love ride cymbal. You'll never convince me that ride cymbal is bad.
What's the best drum part of all time? Is it Nirvana's In Bloom? Because it is.
I do love Nirvana's In Bloom. There's no question. It is hard to play. There is septuplet fills in the chorus.
Yeah. And it's crazy because you think of In Bloom and you think of that one riff, right? Like da da ba ba da. But there's still when you get to the chorus, there's another drum riff that's even cooler.
That's those septuplet fills.
She's the one who writes all the pretty songs. Yeah, and you don't know what it means. Oh my God. Yeah,
those are septuplets, and it's crazy. And what's cool is he doesn't play them as strict septuplets, but he doesn't play them straight either. And yet he just gets from where he is to where he's going. And
that's such a great that's such a great song. Justin, do you have favorite drummers or favorite drum parts?
So it's funny. My favorite album drumming is like Dave Grohl again, but it's Queens of the Stone Age, Songs for the Deaf.
Yeah.
I just love the drumming on that entire album.
Yeah, that song is nothing without a drum part. Like, that song would just be boom, 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 boom. Yeah, what a sick... I hate that guy. I'm sure... I don't know if you guys know that. I hate the guy from Queens of the Stone Age. Yeah, like would fight if could fight.
I saw that video of him kicking the photographer's camera out of her hand, like...
Punched Birdie Dale, his wife, in the face while she was pregnant, cheated on her. I'm not saying he's a racist, but I am saying he's in the Eagles of Death Metal as his side project with a guy who has said very racist things about Middle Eastern people. Right. Yeah, I wouldn't be in a band with a guy who said those things.
If you continue to associate with a known racist and call them your friend, then you are a racist. I will own that.
So it's weird because there are people who I respect who seem to really like him, and he seems to be a well-respected dude. I don't get how. He beats his wife. He like you said, he kicked a camera through a woman's face. He just seems like a piece of shit to me.
The first thing I ask my wife or daughter whenever we're watching something, like, do we like this person, or has this person done shit to other people? Because I need to know. They don't get my money or my time if they are shitty to other people.
My poor wife, you guys know how insane I am about Masters of the Universe and He-Man, and that movie was coming out, and I'm like, oh no, they're going to fuck it up. I don't want to see this movie. And then the first trailer, I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be amazing. And they're like, and Jared Leto, Skeletor. I'm like, why? Why are they ruining everything with Jared Leto? And then it looked good. I'm like, all right, hold on. Maybe he can do it. And then he spoke and didn't do the Skeletor voice. And I'm like, and now I want to kill him again.
Right, like
I cannot
literally,
believe.
you can't tell who it is, and anybody else could do a better voice. Why do you, I mean, they cast fucking David Prose as Darth Vader in the first movie. Like, get anybody to wear the costume.
That's what this is what I told my wife. I said, this is where we as the internet need to bully them into muting his voice and getting a voice actor to be Skeletor. Like, we got them to fix Sonic, we can get them to fix this. Right? We just need to bully them into deleting him, because it's basically CGI, right? Like, I mean, maybe it's his body, I don't know, but like, yeah, let it be like body of dickhead and then an actual voice actor. Any man from Critical Role, I'm sure, can do a Skeletor. So pick one of my boys from Critical Role, let him do a Skeletor. Liam O'Brien, I'm sure, can do a Skeletor. Because he can do a really good Gollum, and I feel like those are probably in the same area. Like, Liam O'Brien is always Gollum if it's not Andy Serkis, whatever his name is. So
what do you think about the guy who played Hordak on the reboot of She-Ra doing Skeletor on this, like a little bit of a crossover, right? Same
I'm
universe.
cool with it. All I know is that, when Skeletor opened his mouth, he's like, He-Man, I'm like, oh, what the fuck? What is that? It's like kicking up an octave. And I know Jared Leto can sing really high. I'm positive his voice can go up there. That was a choice to, stomp on my childhood. I don't understand it.
Just get Chris Pratt to do it like we did Mario, and we're fine.
Hey, it's me, Mario.
Hey, it's me, a Skeletor.
Do you guys know? I found out, Justin, you're Italian. You might know this. Do you know that, like, it's a me and that stuff? There's actually, like, I'm gonna say it's maybe Napoli, but I might be wrong on that. There's a dialect of Italian where they put the vowel first, and like pizza is appease over there. Where, like, when you go there, they call pizza appease. And I found this out because the term gabagool, the thin sliced meat, is actually capicola, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
And I never knew that. And it's capicola, and it became a capicole there, but then they don't hit the C's hard, so it's a gabacole. And then when it came over here, people who didn't speak the language thought they were saying gabagool, and it just has morphed from
So it's
from capicola.
funny that you say that. I think that is such a Midwestern pronunciation of that, because I had never heard that for capicola before until Kate's grandmother pronounces it like that, and I was like, what is she talking about? I mean,
wait, how do you say
capicola?
How do they say it?
Gabagool? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's more of, I don't think it's a Midwestern thing. I think that's a Sopranos, New Jersey thing.
You think? I don't
Justin,
know.
You're an Italian American from New York.
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. I'm wrong. I'm definitely wrong. I mean, that is not my area of expertise, but I just was thinking maybe it's something like unique to the immigrant population that moved into sort of the Rust Belt, but maybe not.
No, I think it's the immigrant population who moved into New York City specifically. I think it's like a specific New York City Northern Italians, their children saying it incorrectly when they hear Grandpa say a gabagool. They're like gabagool.
So interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
So in summation, Robin Martinet for Skeletor.
Who is that?
That's the guy who does the actual Mario voice.
Oh, it would be amazing. It's me, Skeletor.
Yes.
Ah! I would do that. Yeah. Man, Chris Pratt's the worst too. He's someone I do not care for.
What an arc of likability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 100%. 100. That's just one of those things, like, sometimes people get too famous and don't they lose touch with everything. And I feel like he's that guy who just like bought into himself and bought into the California rich person way of life and just really drank the Kool. I can't believe he's not a Scientologist yet. Like, I feel like that's just next steps, right? Like, what a clown. God,
I will say it's why I love Matt Damon, one of my all-time favorites, because talk about a guy who just like kept real with who he was and with his roots, and just a genuinely nice, simple person.
He stepped in it once a couple years ago, and then like was like, "Sorry, I'm getting old. I've learned. My mistake." I'm like, "Good for you." I was really concerned when he did that movie about like the roughnecker who had to go get his kid back who was kidnapped. It was basically that movie with
the Liam Neeson movie, but
yeah, with Matt Damon, but it was like for right wingers, and I was like, really, like, oh no, is he having trouble getting roles, so he's going to heel turn now? And they asked him about it. I think it was on like maybe on oh my god, doesn't matter. He was on some show, and they asked him about it, and he was like, no, I just was really excited to play someone who was genuinely nothing like me and learn about their way of life. That's what acting's about. No, I don't like that guy or support him or think like him. I just wanted to play him, which I like. I was into that. Oh yeah, Matt Damon, because that's his whole thing, right? Is acting is play pretend, and so he was one of the only people who always stands up for anybody who does like non-trans people playing trans, or Scarlett Johansson playing a tree, or whatever she's doing this week, playing a black blind handicapped person. Like that's I do love when Scarlett Johansson's boyfriend has to read jokes about her on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, I love Colin Jost. I love him.
I love him too. And I just love when they give him jokes to make fun of her. And he's like, God damn it. Yeah, I love Jost.
I just wish she hadn't stepped in it. Okay, Justin.
Oh, have I ever told you that Colin Jost's dad was my computer teacher?
No.
Yeah, over at Staten Island Tech. Yeah,
that's
Mr.
amazing.
Joseph, teacher, and his son is Colin. So I have a couple degrees of separation from Scarlett Johansson now.
That's so funny. I love that. My favorite Joe story, and not to make a podcast where I just tell other podcast stories, but I heard this story once where him and Scarlett, they're New Yorkers, and they went to L.A. for Golden Globes or something. So he said, let's get all the Saturday Night Live writers that are out here together and have a big dinner. So he gets all these guys who are just schlubby middle-aged dudes who used to write for Saturday Night Live who are now in LA, and they rent out this really fancy back room of a fancy restaurant, and he says, we're going to watch this like Bears game or something, and we're going to meet at this restaurant. So the only famous person there is Andy Samberg, and then a bunch of writers, and they all go, and he goes, hey, see if we can get the bigger room. They were with Taylor Swift and her fiance and his brother and his brother's wife, and then some other A-listers. And they're like, oh my God. So they get the bigger table, and then he says, hey, guys, we ran out of time. We're not coming. But Travis Kelce's brother's friends are going to come. And so it was just dinner with Andy Samberg, 4 like New York Jewish comedy writers, and then just like 4 LA bros who none of them knew each other at a table that seats like 18. And he's like, I'm paying for everything. Just enjoy the dinner. I'm sorry we couldn't make it. Scarlett's not feeling great, and we got to hurry up to the Golden Globes. And yeah, so Andy's like, worst day of my life. Just sitting at this empty table with like with 2 separate groups of people talking. I'm like, I hate this. I hate this so much. So nice. Is that a keyboard behind you?
Yes.
Are you recording stuff?
Yeah, I'm actually working on a second Mindless Self-Indulgence cover right now.
That's awesome. Very cool, man.
I'll send you the first one as soon as it's mixed. You're going to hate it.
Yeah, I hate them. But I will do it.
Very cool.
Do I have a memory? I don't know if this is true or not. Did I take you to a mindless self-indulgence show and drop you off and
You
wait
did.
outside once? Okay.
You actually did.
I disliked them so much I didn't go inside.
I want to say that you were hanging out with a certain female rapper that night, so it all worked out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I signed a DNA.
Editor Lance here. I clearly meant NDA. I don't know why I said DNA in the moment. I know it's NDA. It's NDA. Back to you, Past Lance. Tell your story.
I signed a DNA about that, which is
My
insane.
apologies. I didn't know.
No, it's fine. Isn't that insane, though?
Yeah, it is.
Whenever someone says, "Oh, was your band famous?" I think of it's like, well, sometimes to hang out with other people, I just sign DNAs.
Editor Lance, NDA.
So, yeah, I guess sometimes. Okay. Do you guys know what happened during the filming of the opening shots of that while they were out in the water?
I don't know. Were there supposed to be a lot of extra people on that show that didn't make it?
I hope I'm not wrong about this. I'm gonna say it and then we can Google it. I'm pretty sure Pearl Harbor happened while they were filming the
I don't
beginning
think it was
of
1942, was it?
Is
I
that
think it had to be much later?
Hold on.
Yeah, I don't think that timeline matches up.
Okay, hold on. Theme. What happened that day? Because I swear to God, there's something. What happened that day? Okay. President Kennedy was assassinated.
Oh, God.
Okay,
That's what it was.
Sense.
I knew something crazy happened while they were out at the water. So, yeah, the day that Kennedy got assassinated, they were filming the shots for the opening of Gilligan's Island. And in some of the opening shots, they pick it up later, and the flag is at full mast in some shots, and then at half on others, because you can spot the pickup in it from days later after Kennedy had been assassinated.
Wow.
So I knew there was something major. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, and I'm
that's
pretty
kind of a go-to
sure usually in this era, my only large diaphragm mics were a Rode NT1, which is still a perfectly good mic, and had a couple other cheapies. But I had a pair of Neumann KM140s, which were their orchestral mics. So people might know similar ones like the 84s and the 184s, but these were actually changeable capsule orchestral recording mics, and I had a pair of them, so I used them for acoustic guitar, but they actually were really good vocal mics because
little
you
pencil
could get
mic?
that. Yeah, you could get that full, and they were really short too. They were like 3 inches long, but you could get a really full frequency response. You get all that Neumann top end. So I assumed the vocals were recorded with that on this.
Yeah, a lot of what I did in the early days with you was for sure through those. So
yeah.
All right. Do we want to start giving it a listen?
There's pictures of Deborah Romer recording vocals through one of those. I have.
It's really funny. She came up at our D&D session because I got a little too drunk last week. I went on a work trip and somehow switched to scotch without knowing. I just thought the word Glenlivet was funny, so I kept ordering Glenlivet at the bar. I didn't know what it was. And so I had said, the only other time that I ever drank scotch was when my friend Deborah I went to her house and she said, I have this really old bottle of scotch. Will you come to my room and drink it with me? And who the fuck is going to say no to that ever? So I'm sure. And so I've only drank scotch, I think, twice in my life, last week and with Deborah once. And I was saying something about it. And I said, I don't know why, but she's the person that I will use her whole name when I mention her, not even name dropping. It's just that's her name is Deborah Bethel Romer. There's like no way to not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You got to say the whole thing. So I was just talking and I forget that she had a brush with fame. And this kid then goes, Deborah Romer, like from America's Got Talent. I'm like, oh yeah. She was on America's Got Talent. He's like, what is your life? And I'm like, well, she wasn't famous when I knew her. She was like our opening act on our tours, and we produced her record, and she was in, so I got her album out, and I was like, here it is, and I was showing them, and I'm like, I don't know if there's a thank you section in it or if she talks about us at all. So as soon as you open it, it's special thanks to Six Pack Lance and my husband to be, Jamie. So I'm like, oh yeah, no, she definitely talks about us in this.
Oh goodness, yeah.
So yeah, we're definitely number 1 and number 2 mentioned on her thank yous, and then it's like Sasha, my parents, some friends, and then it's like Donnie, like Bray, the hot mama, it's like all this. It's like Jesus, It's really flowery. And so yeah, I met her in the most pure way you can meet someone in the music industry. We rolled up to a concert, and there were 2 girls standing outside, and the redhead girl said, "Are you the guy from Darling Waste?" I'm like, yes. And she's like, and you run Tentative Records? And I said, yes. She's like, this is my friend Deborah Bethel Romer. She wants to play you a song. Go. And she's like, play you a song? I'm like, yeah, I'll sign you. Do you want to tour with us? And she's like, we'd love to. And that was like literally how we met.
Good.
Her friend made her just go to a concert and stand outside and wait. And it worked, and we produced her album and took her on a national tour, and she ended up going on America's Got Talent.
The experience of recording that album, living in the basement of that club in Michigan, is what had me rethink my life choices and go back to grad school.
I needed like 10 more years. That should have been enough for me, but I was like, hell yeah, brother! Like, just kept going. I actually, I don't know if this is the podcast for it. Maybe it is. I don't know. I actually, I've only had say 3 encounters, because I am a non-believer in ghosts, angels, interdimensional beings. I've only had 3 things happen in my life that I cannot explain, and one of them was in that basement. It was not scary, but not explainable. And I'm like, oh, maybe there's ghosts.
My only memory of the basement is that there's literally was a set of stairs going down to a one tiny room, that it wasn't even a full basement on that club. Or maybe there were parts that were segmented off.
It was a coal cellar. And for me to use it, I had to clean it. Do you know about this? I almost died. I came real fucking close to death. So cause I wanted to record Deborah's album down there, and you were coming up in a couple days, and it was just, we had cleaned it out and swept it, but it was still like sooty from like coal and stuff. So me and Donnie. Oh God,
you mixed. You mixed.
You already know.
Yep.
Yeah. So me and Donnie
I just know you well enough to know what's coming with this story.
So Lance made mustard gas. So me and Donnie got bleach and hot water, and Donnie was running buckets because there was no water down there, up and down the steps, and I was just scrubbing, and we couldn't get it clean. And I sent Bray and Donnie to go buy more bleach, and they came back and said ammonia was cheaper. It's only 99 cents a bottle, and it's the same thing as bleach. I'm like, all right, cool. Everyone else left. I don't know where they went, but they all left.
We're so
I was
lucky.
By myself mopping, and I literally thought to myself, man, I've got to start working out. I am so out of shape. I just can't catch my breath. And then I was like, my God, dude, I can't breathe at all. And then I was like, oh, I'm blacking out. And I started climbing the steps and went down on the steps and like climbed out of the thing and like took some deep breaths upstairs. I'm like, I think I've made mustard gas.
Yep, ammonium chloride, something like that. Yeah.
So my bad. Almost died in that, which would have been fitting. But that's how I'll go some days, in the basement of a tattoo parlor, mixing chemicals. But yeah. And it's funny.
I was going to say, was that also a beat that I championed, or was that always I Will Be Fine's drum beat there?
That was me.
Was it? Because I love that too. Yeah. I love that rhythm too.
Yeah. And a lot of times I Will Be Fine we had part 1 and part 2 of the set, and Change Seasons was the dividing line. Mm-hmm. I Will Be Fine many, many, many times was that song back, because that's a song that can be a letdown if you let it come after a fast song. Mm-hmm. But if you bring it after Change of the Seasons, it's really nice to get back into a set,
Yeah.
So I Will Be Fine's next week. Or not. Yeah. It's like maybe my favorite Darling Waste song of all time.
Really?
Okay,
I'm gonna listen to it with new ears then.
It has a very that's the song I've played more than any song ever, I think.
Is it because of what it's about, or just something about the song musically?
No, it's just Darling Waste to me. If I had to name a Darling Waste song, it's I Will Be Fine. I really think that's That's the song. That's Darling Ways to me is I Will Be Fine. Like, I don't know why. It's just that's if someone says, Lance, you want to play an acoustic set? I'm like, sure, I guess I'll play I Will Be Fine. Now, what else can, like,
I'll
it's just
play
the
it
song
10 times in a row.
Yeah, and if we're at a radio station, they say, you want to play something? I'm like, sure, this one's I Will Be Fine. Like, it's just the song that I go to. I think it's neurotic, and I think it is folksy, and it's weird, and it showcases my range. It's just a good calling card song for you're either going to like or not like our band based on this song.
I mean, it's certainly, like, just in my memory, very indicative of our production in this time period.
Yeah.
Not in a good or bad way, just in a it is what it is way.
Now, I do think, because I Will Be Fine wasn't on the first record, right? It's on this one. So this is not the one with the beat. This is just jing, 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 jing. The beat is on I Am Born. The better I Will Be Fine is on I Am Born, which then may have been you, because I remember recording the first I Will Be Fine pretty much on my own. The guitars and stuff I recorded by myself in a room.
So yes, you play the acoustic on I Will Be Fine on this one.
It was one of the first times I ever recorded myself. We'll talk about it next week, but I remember it very distinctly. I don't know if you know this. One of his, I found a picture recently that reminded me of this. He had this superhero ability to get every single thing out of a big claw machine. He's just one of those people who can work a big, I can't to save my life. And I just remember every time I went to Denny's, he'd be like, yo, if you give me $5 a quarter, I'll empty this thing. And he would just, Miranda just left with 60 stuffed animals every time we went to Denny's. Because Jeremiah he just understood claw games, man. I don't know.
Wow.
It was weird. Yeah.
It just goes to show you everybody has their talent.
You have that talent. Yeah. And his was 100% claw games. Also, not for nothing, but one time I used to hang out at a place called Donut Land in Brunswick, and they had a claw machine, and I put a potato in it. I just reached my hand up and threw a potato up in there, and then it grew and sprouted, and people kept trying to win it and couldn't, and they're smashing it, but it was still growing, and it was awesome. It was a whole summer there was just a potato in the claw machine because of me.
Yeah, what if they just stocked all claw machines with tubers? I mean, would that be more fun than all those shit stuffed animals that are normally in there?
I would play more for sure.
Right. So last time Lance left me alone, I made up the story of a song about whatever he might be doing. I wonder if he's suspecting that I'm doing the same thing now, or can even hear me.
I can see your hand and your mouth moving as I'm getting a drink, and I'm like, "Oh, you were talking."
Well, given that you I think found my little thing about your song from earlier, so just reminiscing to myself about it.
It was good. I actually started an entire episode with it. That's the cold open of one of our episodes. Okay,
worst cold open ever.
It was a nice cold open. I liked it. Someone wrote me about the This Is Not a Song episode, and he worked with me at a Halloween store in Great Northern Mall, and he has a memory of me driving him home when I had the idea for This Is Not a Song and writing it on paper while doing 80 in the van down 480, and he thought he was going to die. And he's like, you were just swerving all over. You're like, hold on. I got a song. It's called This Is Not. And he's like, I was with you when you literally were writing that song while driving down a freeway. So
do you have any memory of that?
No, not 100. Not. I mean, I kind of. Now he says it, but maybe I'm just borrowing his memory. I don't know.
Yeah,
I did that once.
People out there, if you think our show is boring, please feel free to implant memories in us.
Make shit up, and I'll believe
we are happy to include it in the show.
We'll take it. We were fighting 5 men with swords when you said, I have an idea for a song. Can you hear my washer?
Maybe just a hair, yeah.
It plays like a 45 second little sea shanty whenever it's done. I have no idea. It just goes, and it's still going. Still going.
Yeah, ours is super annoying too.
It may be more than a minute long. There we go. Yeah, and I enjoy it. We also our microwave at work plays me a little song, so I always give it a little thank you dance for heating up my noodles. And it's like boop boop boop. I'm like, thank you for the noodles, microwave. So
good.
Also, when it starts, and I did you ever have a Nintendo Wii or ever play a Wii?
Oh yeah, we had a Wii. Yeah.
So I did not, but I was hanging out with people who had Wiis, and I swear to God, there's a thing like, remember, like you can like select things that weren't the game, but you can just play other games like match games and stuff on the Wii. Every time my microwave starts, it makes a sound and it goes like doo doo boo or something, and I always go sports, which I believe was the sports sound when you selected sports. It just reminds me of I don't know why. It maybe sounds nothing like it.
Wii Sports was such a classic game, not gonna lie.
I loved Wii Sports. Wii Tennis was my jam.
Tennis, bowling.
Yeah, good stuff. I really liked the Wii game of the like pick out yourself on the escalator.
Yeah,
such a fun game. Or like pick out your friends on an escalator. I'm like, all right, I can do this.
Yeah,
like,
we had like hundreds of those Miis that we had made to look like every one of our relatives.
Yeah.
And
that is a good. I own a Switch, but I have yet to play it, and I've had it for like 3 years. Pretty soon, I'm going to start playing Nintendo Switch. I bought it for Nora when she was way too young. It was really stupid. She was like 5, and I'm like, time to buy the kid a Switch. And you know, she is a phone child. She calls Livy an iPad baby because Livy always has her iPad. So neither one of them could give a shit about video game consoles.
Funny.
They play video games. They play together. They play Roblox together nonstop, but it's on their iPads. Yeah, they just link up and play. And I'm like, here's a video game. They're like, nah, we're good. We got it in our palm right now, Dad. You're old. So I'm going to play the Switch because I have twice bought what is that called? Animal Crossing?
Oh yeah, that's Kate's favorite game on the Switch.
It's every one of my friends' favorite game, so much so that I have now purchased it twice because people recommended it. I have 2 sealed copies of Animal Crossing that I'm going to play soon because it's everyone's favorite game.
Kate just loves it. It got her through COVID.
Yeah, it got everyone through COVID. Yeah, and then all of the people on Critical Role, the live play D&D show that I love, they all play it and talk about their Animal Crossing stuff all the time and stuff. So
I love that.
And then my whole D&D table plays Animal Crossing as well. So it's something that I'm doing. I will tell you, this is rough. I'm kind of like, it's a confession. I had to tell my D&D group as well. I am playing the fucking Harry Potter game. Let me tell you a couple caveats. Bought it used, right? And then I also kicked a turf. No.
I appreciate that.
No, but you know, here's the thing. This is the weird thing. I am not into Harry Potter. I never was into Harry Potter. I'm not a Harry Potter person. This is not a Harry Potter family. I obviously am aware of it. I think we own the very first book. I've never read the first book. I don't think I've seen every movie. There's probably 1 or 2 that I'm missing. I never loved them when I did watch them. I'm not the right audience for them. So I don't have that. It's a magical, wonderful place that this is destroying me because she's an asshole. I'm just like, okay, fuck Harry Potter. I don't give a shit. That works for me. It was fun saying I was a Slytherin for a while. I don't have to. I can find other fandoms. Fuck it, you know. However, I'm trying to put off buying a PS5 because I'm an adult and don't need to spend that money. So excuse me. So I was looking to see if there's any other games that I would possibly want to play on my PS4 before I get a PS5. And this is the only game. I only play third person wander around open world games. That's all I play, right? Or sports. But even lately I haven't been enjoying sports. So Skyrim, Fallout, those are my jams, right? Red Dead Redemption 2 was my favorite game of all time for years. Anything where I can just wander around and not do much in a pretty setting is my thing. And so this is that for sure. You're just a wizard at school and you walk around and look at shit. And so I'm like, yep, this game is for me. And they're like, you got to go do the thing. I'm like, no, I don't. Fuck off. I'm watching this ghost tell jokes, so I am thoroughly enjoying it. I wish it wasn't a Harry Potter IP. I wish it was just a standard wizarding game, but I did buy it
used. So
I did buy
extra money back to her.
Yeah. Fuck that. So yeah. I did that. So
all right.
I don't know where that story was going. I'm playing video games. Yes, that's the game I'm playing right now. Is that the wizard game? And it's I think I'm gonna get tired of it fast. I have a couple things I don't like about it. There's so many kids. There's so many NPCs. They just didn't make any of them interactable. You can't do anything with them. They have their 6 things they say, and that's that.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing good things about it.
It's fine. And then the weirdest thing, and I thought this was like just Lance saw this and was like, I can't believe no one thought of this. I literally saw it as number 2 on the top 5 gripes about the game. You can't sit down. Everyone else but me can sit down.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, we go into a room for class and everyone sits down and I just stand there. There's no sit down button. And me and a friend will be talking and we'll be in the hallways and they'll just sit down and I have to just loom above them because I can't sit. There's something
lording
wrong with
over
me.
them.
Yeah, it's so stupid. And like, there's lots of things in this game because they mapped Hogwarts where like there's ghosts in a band playing a song and they play like 10 songs. It'd be really nice to sit down and watch them. And there's a bench, but I'm going to stand next to the bench and watch them because I'm psychotic. Like, so I don't like, that's the biggest gripe I have in the game. I also found some glitches that I think would annoy most people, but I really enjoy them. If you go to certain towns and just jump them down a bunch, it like just blasts you out of the town into like a field. So I'm like, it's a ride. I just want to go down and shoot. So it's like, that's what I did tonight, was just rode the glitch that shoots you out of a town for 3 hours.
You're making the most of it.
Yeah, and and if this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome to us talking about Darling Waste.
It makes up about 10 to 15% of every episode.
Avoiding talking about Darling Waste at all times, where we talk about anything else.
All right, that's it. That's it for this week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of our nonsensical B-sides episodes. Just a clip show of some of the fun stuff that doesn't make the podcasts for time. We are trying to start a community over at Discord. So if you follow the links, you can follow the link in the description. You will find our Discord. If you're on Discord, please come hang out with us. It'd be a lot of fun. We really appreciate it. There's like nothing going on over there right now, but maybe you can be the difference. Okay. See you next week. Thanks. Bye.